Mr. Speaker, we are now in the biggest sales season of the year. Having already passed Black Friday and Cyber Monday, businesses are relying on the sales of the next month for their yearly profits. But a major problem faces our retailers this season. Too many people, many of them employed by retailers themselves, do not make enough money to purchase the consumer goods that drive our economy. It has been 4 years since minimum wage workers have received a pay raise. Since that point, incomes of the top 1% have grown more than 31%, while CEO pay is 354 times that of the average employee. Meanwhile, the minimum wage in its real value is at historic lows. Adjusted for inflation, the 1968 minimum wage was at $10.60 an hour in 2013 dollars, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics Consumer Price Index. The minimum wage today is only $7.25. That comes out to approximately $15,000 a year for an individual and $30,000 a year for a family with 2 parents. The typical big business CEO who got a 16% raise in 2012 got paid $15.1 million. That person will make more in a couple hours than a full-time minimum wage worker will make in an entire year. Now, making $15,000 a year working full-time is simply not enough to get by in the United States. Think about the cost of rent, food, transportation. These costs keep going up, but the minimum wage does not. Is there any wonder why tomorrow Americans across the country will strike at food stores for a livable wage? I joined one of these food strikes earlier this year in Madison, and I was inspired by the courage that these workers, when they spoke out and took the risk of losing their job in order to talk about the low wages they're receiving. Something is wrong when in the richest country in the world, full-time workers have to strike because they can't afford their basic living expenses. When millions of Americans who work hard and play by the rules can't support themselves or their families, when they live in poverty, we face an economic crisis. Consumer spending goes down, deficits go up, and the gap between the small group of the very rich and the large group of the very poor grows even wider.